Hey, this week on Fat Man on Batman.
We're going to take you to Sundance and show you things you've never seen before, all next on Fat Man on Batman. Stirring. What a stirring opening piece of artwork that is.
Dude, that was amazing.
Grimberg, you're amazing. Welcome to Fat Man on Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
Marc Bernardin.
Hey, so rather than leave you with no show today, we're going to show you the intro that I did for Yoga Hosers up at Park City.
Out of the Sundance.
For the Sundance Film Festival, where the movie just debuted last week. And show you the Q&A afterwards. Jason Mewes shot both, so we got the content, man. We'll put it in you are there type perspective.
Take it. Run with it.
How about that? So without further ado, let me take you back, put you in the Wayback Machine with Mr. Peabody and that little boy Sherman. And you can go back in time to like last week and change and see what happened to us at Sundance.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith and I'm here obviously at the Sundance Film Festival in Park City. We are about to debut Yoga Hosers, man. The first time we're gonna show it. I'm nervous as hell. Nervous. It's midnight and it's a kid's movie. I don't know what I was thinking. The audience for this movie can't see it at midnight, but the audience is packed. The tickets have been going for $400 on eBay and stuff, so some people have wanted to see it. Boy, I hope they're not let down. If you paid $400 for Yoga Hosers, sorry. But I'm thrilled. I can't wait. The girls have been wonderful all day. We did press as a big group. And, you know, it's been their first Sundance. They've been over the moon. This is my 10th Sundance in 22 years, my 4th as a filmmaker, as a director here with the film. 2 other times I was a producer. 1 time I was a judge here. But this one's special, man, because my kid's with me. So I'm nervous as fuck. I'm about to go do the intro.
I wrote down some stuff because it's been a real weird trip for me so far. First off, thank you, Trevor. I met Trevor 22 years ago here when I gave him my print of Clerks. He was known as Trevor the Print Trafficker. They're like, find Trevor the Print Trafficker. He had those 3 names, like an old English name, like John the Blacksmith. He was Trevor the Print Trafficker. And when I met him, you know, I was like, I'm the Clerks guy. This is my print. He goes, okay, we'll just take that. And I'm holding on to it going, you don't understand, dude. I only have 1 print of this, so please don't fuck it up. And he was like, we won't. We handle things very well here. And I was like, you don't understand. This is important. He's like, you're all filmmakers, dude. Like, we'll take care of your print. And years later, man, he programmed the fucking flick here. Like, I've watched so many people grow up here, not just myself. This week here has been so incredibly powerful and sentimental and nostalgic. It's like going back to high school, like your alma mater. Everywhere I look is a fucking memory. I went to see the Bob Hawke doc this morning, and it was at the Prospector Square. That's where, like, we had Chasing Amy screening. We got, like, a standing ovation. I'm screening at the Egyptian, our 3rd screening for this. That's where Clerks got bought. I've passed restaurants where Harvey Weinstein sat us down. It's like, oh, fucking buy your movie. Everywhere I look, there's a really fucking powerful memory. But I want to share a story with you that it was my Sundance kind of highlight. I'm sure this will be good too. But I had a moment that afterwards I was like, I could go home now. 22 years ago when I came up here with Clerks, me and Scott Mosier, my producer, were going to go to the director's brunch. They have a director's brunch every year up at Sundance, the Sundance Resort area. So we got a car and we drove. We couldn't fucking find it. We got up there, we walked around. There was a lot of ski lifts and skiers and stuff, but we didn't see any director brunch. So we said, fuck it. We turned around and we went to a comic book store in Salt Lake City instead. Never went to the director's brunch. I've had a movie here 4 times. This is the 4th time. 2 other times, never went to the director's brunch. I got up the other day and there was a director brunch on Saturday and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to fucking go, man. Like, I've never accomplished this, so let me do this. So I got up and I took the drive, this beautiful, gorgeous drive up to the mountains and stuff. And I got up to Sundance and once again, I couldn't find it for about 20 minutes. So I was like, ah, fuck it, I'll go home. And I was turning around about to go and somebody was like, Silent Bob, we took a picture and stuff. And then other skiers came over taking pictures. I was like, right on, it's a selfie fest. And then one of them was kind enough to be like, you looking for that Sundance thing? I said, yeah, where is it? He goes, it's just up there. So it was like 20 feet away from where I had been 22 fucking years ago. And me and Mosier were like, where the fuck is it? And we didn't go. So there it was, and I saw it. I was like, right on, when we go in. And I went in and I saw people, like I saw Trevor, Cooper, people I saw since the beginning of my career, people, other filmmakers as well. Room was packed and stuff. I got there just in time for the Redford speech. Now I'm sure Redford has given this speech 1,000 times over his life, or a variation of it, talking about indie film and how important it is. And we're all filmmakers gathered in this room and stuff. And so they're about to start the speech, and I go lean in the back of the wall. I'm like, this is gonna be cool. Honestly, the whole reason I went up there, I was like, I want to get a selfie with Redford and shit. So here I'm in the back of the room taking this picture, and he starts his speech. And I swear to God, like, it fucking hit me like a freight train, because he tells this very simple story that turns out to be like the secret origin of my life that I didn't even realize. He talks about like being an actor and loving weird movies, like independent film. And he's like, at that time, there was really no place for it, no market for it. And I always told myself, if I got a little bit of success, I would try to do something about that. He's like, years later, I did get some success. In 1980, we started trying to figure out how to do the film festival. First was the US Film Festival, then became the Sundance Film Festival. So he talked about, like, you know, I love the Native American community, and I believe that just like them, if you take something out, you got to put something back. And so Sundance was my way of putting it back, and it was a way of building a community for these people that made these movies. And he was one fucking sentence shy of going like, something for the freaks, like you know? And I swear, that's when it hit me. I just started bawling, because I realized, like, no one in my life, like there's no one else in my life quite like that person. All of my fortunes, everything that ever happened to me in my career, are predicated on Robert Redford going like, I think it would be nice to put something back. I think it'd be nice if they had a community. I dreamed about that shit. I mean, before the internet and stuff, we couldn't all find each other. I dreamed of being with other people who thought like me and said, yeah, I'm not into sports. I want to tell weird fucking stories and talk about Star Wars and pussy, whatever the fuck. And because of that guy, that happened, and my life changed. Never has anyone had more impact on my life that I've never met. And I was standing in the room with him and shit. He finished his speech, he went out the door, and I was just a mess. And everybody's like, are you all right? And I was like, he's just in every fucking culture, there's a wise man on a mountain, and it's him! So it was really sweet. This whole trip has been insanely sentimental. I thank you guys for bringing me back, man. But I want to thank some other people, and then we'll dive into the stuff. I was trying not to cry, and I didn't do it so far. When you're a middle-aged stoner, everything is beautiful. Oh my God, everything affects you on a profound level. This room, ladies and gentlemen, is very important to me, because in 1994, when we were here with Clerks, me and my producer, Scott Mosher, came here to watch the Hudsucker Proxy. Coen brothers introducing and talking after the Hudsucker Proxy. Now, if anybody in film knows, catching the Coen brothers talking is like finding a fucking unicorn, man. Like, they let their work speak for themselves. I'm the other guy. I make the movie, I come out and go, I'm sorry, let me explain what happened. So, being there in the room when they spoke as young filmmakers, we were just fucking thrilled and shit like that. But in that movie, there's an important lesson that, like, you know, I love that movie, took an end in the moment. But there's a lesson that I've used my entire life that came right out of this room. So when I found out we were screening here tonight, I was like, fuck, that's amazing. Came out of the movie. It's a very simple quote, happens at the end. Don't want to spoil the movie for you if you haven't seen the Hudsucker Proxy. Fuck you, it's been 20 years. But the main point of the movie comes down to the very selling point. Failure should never lead to despair, for despair looks only to the past. In business and in love, the future is now. I've failed so much in my career, so much, and it's always led to something else, man. I've stopped being afraid of fucking failure for that reason. Failure is just success training, that's it. And you get it wrong once, you'll never get it wrong again and stuff. I learned that lesson in this fucking room. Tonight, you're not gonna learn anything like that. You're not gonna learn any valuable lessons in this movie whatsoever, man. This essentially, Yoga Hosers is the movie that I would have wanted to see back when I was a 12-year-old girl. And I had to wait until I was a 45-year-old man to make the movie and stuff. Couldn't have made the movie without some people I want to shout out. They're here, they're very important to me. Kim Ledford, my spiritual sister. Perhaps the only person left in this world that believes in me and stuff. I came to her and we were working on this other thing, oddly enough, a Krampus movie and stuff. And I said, hey man, I got this idea and there's a window to do it. I want to build a whole movie around these two girls, kind of like a girl superhero movie and stuff. It's like a comic book movie but without the comic book. And she went for it right away. She found money so fucking fast. 2 months after I had that conversation with her, we were in production. That's a miracle worker. Her, Charles, Dan at Starstream. Without them, I don't get to do anything. There are, this movie is full of sausages and phallic symbols and shit like that. But oddly enough, it is a very woman-heavy movie. The whole movie was produced and made by women. I'm the writer-director, that's it. But these are the people, these are the women that made the movie, man. Liz, Jordan, Jen, Tracy, our first ADs, Alyssa and Sherry. These are the women that every day I want to work with this dope movie, and they brought it to life. wife. I urge anybody, man, in your creative life, surround yourself with women. They make life for a living, so movies are fucking nothing to them, you know what I'm saying? Without them, I got nothing. Very important though, this is that every artist pickpockets the lives and of the people around them and stuff. I pilfer constantly. I lead a very interesting life. I'm a fear-based creature. So I always kind of look to other people who do interesting things. My wife, Jennifer, for years has been that person. I constantly steal from her and put it into my work. My work wouldn't be nearly as interesting if I wasn't married to her. For the better part of 17 years we've been together, she'd come home from this thing called yoga. I'd be like, what'd you do there? And she'd be like, upward dog. And I'd be like, okay. So I know 10 yoga things, and they're all in this fucking movie, man. And it's all because of Jennifer. So I'm happy with that, without Jennifer. But the biggest thanks of all, hands down, go to the two ladies right at the center of the movie, Lily and Harley. They came out to shoot a little scene in Tusk. And because of this movie we made last year or 2 years ago, and because of that little scene, this whole movie exists. And it happened very accidentally. Harley, I pulled Harley into Tusk because I wanted somebody to play the convenience store clerk. And I told my wife, I was like, let's put Harley as the convenience store clerk, because let's be honest, she's never gonna get a real job fucking anyway and stuff. This would be our chance to see what that would look like, you know? So she was like, cool. So Harley was in the scene with Johnny Depp. And Harley and Lily have known each other since kindergarten. So when the night before we shot the scene, Harley was like, Lily's coming to watch us tomorrow on set, watch us act. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, well, that's beat. And she goes, why? And I was like, it's fun to watch people act, more fun to act. If she's there, let's just put her in the flick. So she goes, really? I said, yeah, man, let's ask your parents. So I hit up Vanessa, and she's like, totally, ask Johnny. And I sent Johnny an email, and we just worked together that day, and we were gonna work together the next day. I sent him an email, and I was like, hey man, Lily Rose gonna be on set, let's put her in the scene with Harley and stuff. Didn't get a response and shit, so I was like, probably bad idea, whatever. Next day I went in to set, and he was like, hey man, I got your email. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I know you don't put the kids in movies. I was baked when I wrote that shit. Don't worry about it. It's one of those ideas. I was like, Lily Rose, yes. And he goes, no. He's going, I've been thinking about it. And he's going, I think it'd be really sweet. I never imagined I would act with my daughter. So, like, if we could still do it, is it possible? And I was like, we could do anything, man. Fuck yeah, it's possible. And so we did the thing that all responsible fucking parents should do. We went to school, pulled our kids out for the day, and brought them to a movie set, and said, here are your lines and stuff. They rehearsed together, and we were off and running. And it was honestly the greatest day of my life as a filmmaker. I was standing on a set, making the stupidest fucking movie ever made and shit like that, with one of the greatest actors on the planet, and my kid was in the scene with like her best friend all through childhood. And it was wonderful. We were 4 of us at a counter, the 2 girls behind the convenience store counter, and then me and Johnny were on the other side of the counter and shit, and I'm directing my daughter, and he's directing his daughter and shit. And then my daughter stops listening to me and starts listening to him instead. You know, he's a good fucking actor. And so, and we went for it. It was the action. And the girls had never done dialogue before, really acted before, and they were just like magical. I'm standing next to my wife the whole time, watching on the monitor, and I keep elbowing her, going like, that actress came out of my balls. The whole thing was fucking fantastic. We had a great time shooting. She knows. We had a fantastic time shooting and stuff, and then we wrapped on that scene. It was magical. It was wonderful. So I cut the rest of the movie together, but that scene, even though I have these great scenes with Johnny Depp and with Justin and this walrus makeup and stuff, I was transfixed by the girls' scene. I would watch it all the time. Anyone who came into my office, I'd be like, watch this. I'd show it to Jen, my wife, constantly, so much to the point she's like, I'm tired of this movie and shit. I was like, you sound like every Kevin Smith fan on the internet. But finally one day, I showed it to Jen yet again. She's like, why do you keep watching this? Like, I don't know, I love this scene so much. I was like, what is it? Is it because they're wearing like these smocks that look like hockey jerseys or something like that? And so I like the way they look? Or is it because like in the movie, they look at their phones, they look up, say shitty things, look back at their phones, that's all she does all day anyway? What is it? What do I like about this? And Jennifer goes, oh God, Kevin, you're so fucking stupid, you can't see it. It's 2 people standing behind a fucking convenience store counter. And I was like, oh God, you're right, it's Girl Clerks, isn't it? I was like, but I think I can make that movie. She's like, you already made that fucking movie. I was like, but with girls this time and in Canada, it'll be different. And that's where we are tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Dallas proverb you can take with you in your life. I loved it. I picked it up from the Tao of Pooh when I was a kid. I read that book. That's as deep as I get on the Tao. And this quote is very, very particularly meaningful for me tonight. The quote is, "To be great is to go on. To go on is to go far. To go far is to return." I'm very fucking happy to return. Enjoy yoga.
My two partners in crime, and honestly, movie only works to give their performances. Where are they? Oh, here's one now. Harley Quinn Smith. Ralph Garman. Natasha Lyonne. Lily Rose Depp. Tyler Perry. Justin Long. Austin Butler. Cheers! Cheers, 5 years ago. All right, man. Open it up to you guys. What do you? Anybody want an explanation?
I still want one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
In Tough Shit, I was just curious. You said that writing about two dudes talking is your wheelhouse. Did this stretch you a little bit to do literally the opposite?
It did, yeah. Writing for two girls was oddly enough very easy for me. I'm so in touch with my feminine side. I got man boobs and shit, so I can get into that headspace. But the girls were absolutely the most effective weapon in that war. I can't like pretend to think like a teen girl. I couldn't direct the girls to like, this is how you act like a teenager. Like they knew how to do that themselves. So they're kind of like, they bring it all to life. Some of the dialogue was made better by them coming on board and just kind of making it real. Because a lot of dialogue in the script sounded like a 45-year-old writing for two 15-year-olds. So I did get to stretch a little bit.
Hi, my name is Dwight. I would like to know about the ladies, the music. Is that going to be available? Because I need to wake up to that every morning.
Right on. Yeah, I think, who's putting out the album? Rhino? Rhino's putting out the album.
Down the track!
Let the record show it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, really. Go ahead, way in the back.
What was it like to connect it for Libby Rose to act opposite her father in one of his disguises?
I saw the costume, in Tusk and everything, so I'd seen that before, but it was really fun. I think, it's one thing on screen, but it's another when it's right in front of you, and that mole is really big. So. It was really fun, though. It's cool.
The mole's big and it moves. I don't know if you noticed that.
That's multiplied.
Yeah, it constantly generates all over his face and stuff. It's for if you're watching closely. That was it. Johnny was just like, "Can I move the mole around?" And I was like, "Oh my God, do anything you want, of course." So he put a bunch of moles all over, and then they started multiplying. Good shit. He's a fun dude to fucking have around, to be honest with you, man. When we made Tusk, like I showed up to set, and he'd asked the night before, he's like, "Can I bring a makeup artist?" My guy Joel Harlow, he does my makeup. And I was like, "Oh my God, of course." So we showed up to set, first day to shoot with him. And I went to his trailer. They're like, he wants to see. They were like, Mr. Depp wants to see you. I was like, Johnny's dad is here? And they're like, no. So I went to the trailer. I knocked on the door. He's like, come in. And I came in, and he's wearing that nose that you see in the movies. First time I ever saw it. His big prosthetic fucking nose. I was blown away because I'm like, holy shit, man! What the fuck? Look at that! And he's going like this, showing off like cereal. And he's like, what do you think? What do you think? And I was like, I think it's fucking astounding. I think like you're overthinking this way too much. Like you could have phoned this one in, man. Literally, you could have called. We would have shut the fucking phone, and that would have been enough for your cameo. You didn't have to go through the distance of putting on makeup. And he goes, no, look at it. What do you think? Doesn't it look like a dick? And I was like, yeah, it kind of does. He's like, would you mind? I was like, would I mind what? He's like, when me and Joel were talking about painting a blue vein down the side. And I was like, you telling me you want to wear a dick on your face in my movie? Have you ever wanted to wear a dick on your face in a movie? Tusk is the fucking movie to do it, man. And he did it. It was fucking awesome. And that kind of spirit led to this movie as well. Like same spirit that where he's like, hey man, let's stick a bunch of balls all over everything. Fun guy, man, really fun guy. That was an entirely fun cast. Next question,
You made a great Barazzi. Could you tell us a little more where that came from?
The Bratzi?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bratzi was, it started originally as Andrew and JC, two friends of mine, had an idea to do a film about kids that encounter miniaturized Hitler clones. And I was like, oh my God, it's amazing because you kill Hitler over and over. We all loved it when Quentin killed him once in Inglourious Bastard. If you kill a bunch of Hitlers, that'd be amazing. So Jason Mewes was gonna play miniature Hitler. Like I went to Jay, my friend Jay, and I was like, dude, I got a role for you. If you play this, people will stop going, there goes Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. They'll say something else. And he goes, who am I playing? And I was like, Hitler. And he goes, who? And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And he goes, oh, Call of Duty, right, Hitler. And the idea was like he would be playing miniature Hitler. He didn't know much about him and stuff, and it led to the weirdest conversation I ever had with Jason Mewes. One day he was like, out of nowhere, he goes, so I've been watching a lot of Hitler on YouTube and stuff. Something you never want to hear a friend say. And he was just like, I said, really? And he goes, yeah, I can't speak the language, but I think I got it. He's yelly, I can do that. You want to hear it? I think I got a Hitler down. And I was like, do it. And he was like, schleiben, snookins. And I was like, oh, I don't do pig, you know? As we got close to production, I realized that like just putting him in a Hitler outfit, giving him a Hitler mustache, and shrinking him and putting him in the movie, I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was part of what we were trying to do. The whole thing is the True North trilogy has rubber Canadian monsters in it. We had the goalie Golem, but I felt like maybe the villain should be something to it. So I called up Bob Kurtzman, who's our makeup guy, and I was like, Bob, instead of like it just being miniature Hitlers, we should do something to him. Something that's Germanic or whatever. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, when I think of Germany, I think of a Black Forest. Maybe he could look like fucking tree bark or something. And Kurtzman, Bob Kurtzman, was the guy who said it. He goes, when I think of Germany, I think of fucking bratwurst. And I said, you're a fucking genius, dude. I said, can you draw Jason Mewes as a Nazi bratwurst right now? And he said, give me a minute. And then he texted me a picture of pretty much what the Bratzi looks like. And I was like, this is it, this is the move. And so Jason was gonna do it, but Jason has a hard time with prosthetics. Like at one point, like we had done prosthetics for one of the movies, and he freaks out when we put it on. This is 10 years after that, so I was like, you think you're gonna be able to handle this? I'm not gonna do it just as you dress it simply, you gotta put on a bunch of makeup prosthetic. He's like, I think I can do it. And we went to shoot it one day, put all the stuff on him, and then he couldn't fucking handle it. He gets very claustrophobic and stuff. So he's like, I can't do it, I can't do it. He's really like freaked out about it. I said, don't worry about it, dude. It's fucking like, look how like out of sorts you are. I've never seen him so upset. I was like, it's a fucking movie. It's yoga hosers. Don't fucking worry about it and shit. We'll find somebody else to play the Bratzi. And so the first person I reached out to was Haley Joel Osment, because Haley's in the movie, and he's the father of the Bratzi's kind of with Ross character. So I was like, maybe Haley will do it. And I called Haley and I was like, hey man, Jason can't play the Bratzi. Do you want to play the Bratzi? And he goes, fuck yeah. And I said, why? And he goes, because then people will finally stop saying, there goes little boy from the Sixth Sense. And so I was like, perfect, man. Like, come in tonight, we'll put you in the scanner and we'll get the makeup right. He's like, right on. They're gonna call half an hour later from his agent going, he's not doing that. He's already played a Nazi for you, that's enough. And I was like, okay. And so I was like, I guess I'll do it. Because I would have to scream through the makeup for an actor or actress to hear me, like, do this, do this. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And then I actually got to be in the movie. That was never the plan, but then at the end of the day, I got to act with the girls kind of, even though we were never together, but they put me into the scene. So you don't have to be fucking Freud to figure this movie out, man. A dad writes a movie about a bunch of phallic things running at his daughter and she's killing them all. It's a message movie for sure, man. Next.
For the cast, what was your initial reaction to reading the script? It's not like usual.
Okay. Well, I thought it was awesome. I love the Colleen characters, and I think I agree with Kevin that I would also love to see like a really cool action film with teenage girls. Like I would have loved to see that. I mean, I love seeing it now, so. Yeah, I really got attracted to that aspect of it. And then I also like weird sci-fi shit, so I was like, yeah, this is cool. It's weird, but I love weird stuff, so I'll definitely be a part of it.
I was along for the ride, and then the Bratzi's came in, and I had to reread that page about 14 times. I was like, am I reading this correctly? And then I went over to Kevin's house and I watched Tusk, and just kind of got to see the personality of his taste right now, and I was all in, just so excited. That's an important distinction. His taste right now.
Yeah, I'm in this weird phase of like, I like making these weird fucked up movies. I've obviously, if you've seen Tusk and now you've watched Yo-Go's, clearly I don't give a shit about the audience anymore. They've become very masturbatory films where I'm like, ooh, this is what I like. And my kid's in it, that's weird to say. Back to you.
Speaking of masturbatory, had I not read Tusk before I read the script, I wouldn't have been prepared. It might have compelled me to stop smoking pot, because I guess that's what it does to you if you smoke enough of it. I'd already done Tusk, and so it felt more like, oh yeah, this old chestnut. Like, that again, good old Nazi bratwurst. Been there, done that.
When I was offered the role, I didn't care what the hell it was about. I was so down to do a film with Kevin, and then I read it and I was like, oh, this makes complete sense. I totally got it. I don't know. I'm weird. I like really awkward kind of offbeat kind of things, and I hadn't seen Tusk yet, so I didn't really know what I was in for. I didn't have anything to compare it to. But I was immediately, I couldn't be happier with the script after I was already super stoked to do it, and then I read the script. I was just, I couldn't believe it. I loved it. I'm a weirdo, and I loved it. That's it.
I mean, obviously we already had played the characters just in that scene in Tusk and stuff, and Harley told me that Kevin said he was interested in making a movie about it and stuff. But the first time I read the actual script, I was like, yeah, I was like, wow, this is really funny and out there and stuff. I mean, I was down. I think it's funny. So it's my kind of humor, I guess. So I was down.
I kind of feel the same way as Justin. I was not that surprised. So I was like, oh, cool, yeah, but more of the same. But yeah, it's just I don't know. If that kind of stuff seems not Nazis, but that type of weird art seems to be in my life a lot. So it wasn't that much of a surprise, but I was like, this is so cool and different. Thank God, I like it.
The first film I worked on with Kevin was Red State, and then Tusk. And so when I read this script, I was like, finally, a family film. Kevin is making. After those two, which was fairly fucked up, this seemed almost fun and giddy and Disney-esque. So I said, yeah, sign me up. And Kevin said, do you want to play a defrosted Nazi? And I said, absolutely, count me in.
I would agree with this. It's a blast when you read it and the Nazis, and I would say I was very touched by what you said about Redford and this the idea of a home for weird movies. I mean, I think when in reading something like this, that's really the exciting part, is just that you haven't read it before, more than anything, and how rare that is. There you go.
That is cool. I was thinking that when I was watching the movie, because it's I've been doing this 22 years, so I'm able to be objective about it. And with these movies, it's even fucking better. Early in my career, I was not a really good filmmaker and stuff. I would just take my real life, change names, and shoot that and stuff. And so when I ran out of real life, because at a certain point, when I was 24, when I came up here for Sundance, I kind of stopped having a real life. I had a chance of being a real interesting human being, but then I became an entertainer instead. And so all that material that I used to cull from my real life and put into the movies, the early better ones, as people call them, that came from real life. So when people would criticize the movies, I'd bristle and fucking jump, because they weren't talking about the movies to me. They were talking about my friends, me, the things that I lived and felt. This shit never happened to me, man. Tusk and Yoga Hosers and stuff. So people could come up to me and be like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. I'm like, isn't it? And they come up to me and be like, this is the worst piece of shit you've ever made. I'm like, isn't it? It just fucking works both ways, man. So objectively, I was sitting in the back watching the thing, and it's I think a lot of it works and stuff, and some of it I'm like, oh, I wish I'd tighten that. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it doesn't look like anything else. It doesn't feel like anything else. It's not like this is the 5th movie at Sundance with Bratzies in it, It's just, and at this stage in my career, that's kind of what I'm most interested in, trying to fucking do something that somebody hasn't seen before and stuff like that. So, I don't know, when Redford said that shit about building a community, he was building a community of fucking freaks, and I was one of them. And this is the only place something like this could kind of happen. So yeah, I was touched by it as well.
Hello. I think also, it was just it's, when I said different, I mean it's just so refreshing to see something new where girls are represented like in a powerful way, and just, I don't know, there seems to be a lot of the same in movie theaters and stuff, but coming to Sundance here and having, like, being able to show this, it's obviously pretty weird, but like a different weird film with you guys, and like, hopefully you guys like it. But, like,
one more and then we'll send you off and just have a good night. There we go.
Did you get the script cleared by the Canadian government?
Did I get the script cleared by the Canadian government? No, but I'm hoping that this gets me dual citizenship. Obviously, I'm a big Canada-phile. Some people are like, what the fuck, are you from there? I'm like, no, but like I'm from New Jersey, which is kind of the Canada of the United States in many ways. And I've always loved the country ever since, like, my parents took me there when I was a kid. Like, when I was 5, this is fucked up. My parents were like, we're going to another country. And I was like, on a plane? They said, no, in a car. And I was like, really? And we drove up to Niagara Falls. And everything was the same, but just mildly different. It was like being on a movie set. Like, they had stores, but I didn't recognize the names. They all sounded made up. Roots? What's that? And shit like that. They had cops, but they were dressed in red and rode horses instead of blue and in cars. We all spoke English, but theirs was just a little bit different, and some of them spoke French. They had these giant waterfalls. You know, that's what all Niagara Falls is all about. And it captured my imagination as a kid because there's a wall full of stories about Canadian daredevils who put themselves in barrels and go over the falls and fucking die. So as a 5-year-old, I'm like, Canada's the greatest place in the world, man. What a land of adventure and mystery and stuff. So I fell deeper love later on with SCTV, Bob and Doug McKenzie. This movie does not exist without Strange Brew. This is me trying to do Strange Brew with girls later on. So, and then after SCTV, of course, Degrassi, which is always my heart. So right now, I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, be glad, this is my midlife crisis. You know what I'm saying? Like, making weird movies about Canada that doesn't exist. But I do it because I love the country so much. I'm such a fucking fan of the idea of the cultural mosaic that Canada is and stuff. So this was kind of a way to honor it. Some Canadians are like, I don't see the honor in this. Whither you. But it's all in love, absolute fucking love. I can't thank you all enough for coming out and watching this at fucking midnight. Huge thanks to my cast. I got nothing. You guys rock. I love you so much. To all the producers, Trevor, everyone that's coming in, thank you so much for being here, man.
Oh, didn't you feel like you were there?
I totally did, even though I wasn't.
See all those fucking famous people?
Nah, just littered. Park City's littered with famous people.
I'll tell you right now, man, it's nice. They say very nice things about me and stuff. I appreciate it so much. But I love actors and actresses, man. I love anyone can tell the lie that tells the truth, man. That's why I do the movies. Like, not because I'm like, I have something to say and shit. Obviously, fucking not. I do it because I love being around actors and actresses. It's the closest thing you got to witchcraft in this world. I know some people are like, fuck you, I'm a Wiccan. Okay, that's the closest thing to witchcraft. My bad. Please don't put a hex on us. But like somebody standing there and saying magic words and you believe it. Like they're lying a fucking million lies a second or whatever the fuck, just like about who they are, where they come from, what their dog's name is, who they're in love with, what dark empire is chasing them. All of it lies, and we forget. We suspend our window of disbelief, and we just listen and learn something about ourselves in the process. Isn't that weird? That's the closest thing to magic words we have, man. Actors and actresses, fucking wizards.
I want to believe.
Right? Me too, man.
Yeah.
In any event, people are like, you're talking about the Yoga Hosers cast? Yes, as a matter of fact. Maybe not on this picture, but in all the other pictures as well. I just love being around actors and stuff like that. Actors and actresses, so that was kind of cool for me. Anyway, that's all we got for this week, man. Come back on Wednesday. We're going to give you so much fucking new news about shit you care about, not my bullshit and stuff like that. But until then, here in the Fat Cave, I'm Kevin Smith.
Marc Bernardin.
Come back next week. Same fat time. Same fat channel.
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor, click that thing below that says subscribe. Every time you click that, you save a baby kitten from murder.